This is a new segment that we're going to do from time to time called Blind Item, where we have not seen this. We're going to listen or watch and respond. This is now, it's incredible to watch the wave of fake pseudo-sophisticates who literally, only Alex Jones and pundits on CNN can think that criticizing media monopolies and how that influences coverage is the same as some type of Baroque conspiracy theory. Most of the rest of us are either intuitively grok the obvious, which is that there's self-interest and self-selection, or some of the rest of us have done things like read Manufacturing Consent, which is a pretty well-known book. It really shouldn't. I mean, it was plugged in Good Will Hunting, for God's sake. Let's see how Stephen Colbert does with the whole anti-Bernie bias in media story. Let's see. Colbert, who historically is one of the smarter ones. Let's see how he does.
His character was good.
His character was good. Blind Item. Let's check it out.
There's also news about Vermont Senator and sentient dryer lint Bernie Sanders. For years, the Burn has been critical of corporate America, especially Amazon CEO and super cool penis Jeff Bezos.
Yuck.
Whoa. Hey ladies, look but don't touch. At a recent event in New Hampshire, Bernie went after Bezos again.
You know, if you look at the Washington Post, which is owned by the wealthiest guy in this country, a guy named Jeff Bezos, Amazon made $10 billion in profit last year. You know how much they paid in taxes? They've got it, zero. Any wonder why the Washington Post is not one of my great supporters? I wonder why.
Wait, is that he's stealing Trump's things?
Yes, the Jeff Bezos, the Washington Post is, I think, and I'm coining this phrase, fake news said it's a witch hunt. A witch hunt! God bless the United States.
Now, Bernie went on.
SMBH.
I don't know. Does this go on much longer? Because this is a great explanation of why so many people are so stupid.
Yeah, what do you say, Brennan?
I think we got to do it.
Keep going.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, because there's like a minute left, and this
is
is
he
as
going to
far as I
recover?
got
Is he going to recover? Because this
it's
is
a blind
so...
item, man. Nobody's watching.
All right, halfway in, Stephen Colbert. Never give your heroes the Late Show.
There's that article that came out in Mel magazine earlier this year about how just late night writing rooms are just absolutely dead in the water and just wrote all the time. And this is like,
This is
a perfect
the
example.
embodiment of it. All right, let's keep
Colbert,
going.
Let's hear him out, guys.
Colbert's
I
initial
agree.
contract was for $4.6 million over 3 years. So
Yeah, he's just getting paid.
All right, let's do this.
I mean, maybe he could spend some of that money on more writers. But
Maybe you could spend, or order a book from Powell's independent bookstore online called Manufacturing Consent. Go ahead.
Bernie went on to explain why he's worried about corporate media, saying,
Large corporations own the media in America by and large, and I think there is a framework about how the corporate media focuses on politics.
okay, Bernie, that's ridiculous. I, Stephen Colbert, work for a major corporate media, but I'm free from corporate influence, and I can say whatever I want. Which reminds me, all hail the glorious merger of Viacom and CBS. May it forever bolster our premium content portfolio and position us to span all content categories and demographics, creating eternal value for shareholders. Viacom, CBS, stronger together.
So this is basically a reworking of a Wayne's World joke, which was actually funny in the original Wayne's World movie, where they get sponsors and the whole sight gag is that they're never going to sell out and they're always going to be independent while they hold up different products. And this is so funny because this is like, he's so pure Gen X here, because it's like that double move where it's like, as long as I'm overt, there's nothing to see here. So what I'll do is I'll actually, after making this ridiculous, you have brain worms if you think Sanders and Trump are doing the same thing, but I'll explain it to the people who have trouble comprehending basic things in a minute. But what he's doing there is, after making that ridiculous false equivalency, is saying like, I'll throw like a slight rhetorical bone to people who have concern about media monopolies, and I'll turn it into this like ultra irony filled nonsense, which is sort of pulling off a great feat if you take it seriously or if it was in any way funny. Because on one hand, what you're doing is you're basically saying like, hey, look, for one track, you're like, no, I actually get it. That's why I'm going to look like I'm being a shill right now. But actually for most people, and the people who are unable to see the difference between Sanders and Trump, he's doing an extreme caricature of what people have made up and lied that Bernie is saying, which is that it is this linear one-to-one relationship. So very sad blind item. And I just want to say, Donald Trump has never structurally critiqued anything. He's basically said that if the Washington Post does a narrow investigative report, and the New York Times exposes how he's a trust fund baby and all of his, various misdeeds, that means they're the enemy of the people because his personality is merged with his base. Bernie Sanders is saying that media monopolies and media concentration of a very small group of people, industries, and oligarchs skews what gets focused on in terms of coverage. And that's why, as an example, you don't get, several years ago in particular, you would never get any, if he wanted to talk about poverty, it would get zero coverage. So and then more broadly, of course, he's running a campaign which literally threatens the self-interest of those who control the media. And so they don't need to make a call. They don't even need to consciously sort of make a plan. They've already filtered through, in terms of a professional system and an ideological system, a whole infrastructure that's going to be opposed to him and biased against him. This is quite obvious, even on the down to the level of who can afford to do internships at media companies. It ain't working class people.
Nope.
I can assure you.
Absolutely. And Stephen Colbert is also doing something kind of gross here, where he's making fun of the idea that he would be stoked on the CBS Viacom merger and stand to benefit from it, when in fact he very much does. And it's a little bit tone deaf towards all of the employees right now who work at these two companies who are legitimately concerned about layoffs and consolidation.
Right.
So nice one, dude. Way to be a man of the people.
And also just not funny.
Well, Viacom owns Comedy Central, right? So it's not like he hasn't worked with Viacom before. It's like getting the gang back together.